your house just came off the market, here are the 3 things that buyers are going to question every single time a property comes off the market before they even walk through your house. Guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Cody, one of the top agents here in Arkansas. With EXP Realty, I help sellers demand the most amount of money. I help buyers find the next best deal. And real quick, if you're a seller who's going through this phase and you're worried about what people are thinking, I'm going to tell you the biggest 3 common questions that a buyer will ask whenever they see a house come off the market. Number 1 is something wrong with the house? Guys, most of my business, especially if I'm not doing social media content, I'm always on the phone. I'm always cold calling, right? I always call expires and cancels. And one of the main objections that I get most of the time is people saying it's the market, or people saying, oh, they don't like my house, right? And this correlates into me getting showings or me getting no showings and no offers on the property, right? And whenever you think that, or you think that buyers say that something is wrong with the house, when your house clearly has nothing wrong with it, right? This is basically what it means, is that whenever somebody sees this, they're going to automatically think, is there something wrong with the house? Especially if they see a house that's been on the market for 90 days, 6 months, it's not selling, right? And what you're going to notice throughout the 3 most common questions that buyers will ask, right? Because I've been on both sides of the party, right? The listing side and the buyer side, right? So number 1 is price, right? It's nothing wrong with your property whatsoever, right? If a property is still on the market, right, and it's just not selling whatsoever, and you're not getting nobody, it's always the price, right? And the one thing that I talk about in most of my videos, right, is setting that expectation whenever you go list a property, right? Most agents, guys, do not set that expectation. Most agents will not tell you the truth on why properties don't sell. Most of the time, my competition is going to say what you want to hear, right, to earn your business, and not what you need to hear, right? And which is why a lot of sellers will come to this conclusion and thinking what buyers are going to think. When at the end of the day, when nothing's wrong with your house, it all comes a part of the price adjustment, what the price strategy is, right? So nothing's wrong with your house. So what does number 2 mean? The deal fell apart. Let's not even talk about you sitting on the market, no showings of expectations, right? When they see a property come back on the market, and of course you had it under contract, you had it you went throughout the entire process, right? And it comes back on the market after the deal has fell apart. Another thing people are going to think is like, you know what? It may have failed inspection, something is wrong, majorly wrong with the property, when obviously that is not the case, right? Now, this is a pretty much straightforward answer, because obviously you as a seller know what happened, right? But at the end of the day, this is what people think, right? They think that the deal fell apart because of inspections, right? When something may have went wrong with the buyer, right? With the buyer's, financing, right? It may have failed inspection, but what have that agent has done to save the deal, right? So they would say the deal fell through inspections, through anything, right? Again, number 2 is not as bad as number 1, right? Because a lot of deals fell through, right? I had deals that fell through just like a week ago, right? Because of inspections, because of everything I just said financially. Things can go wrong, right? This is a common occurrence whenever you are selling your home. And listen, if you are thinking about selling your home, you want to make sure you have an agent on your side. You're going to make sure they demand the most amount of money for you and tell you what you need to hear to get you exactly where you need to go. Click that Calendly link in the description below. Book a free call. Let's see if we're a good fit to work together. And let's see if I can solve your problem to get you where you need to go. But this is a very common occurrence. And this is something you don't want to worry about, especially if your property does fall through and you're worried about the feedback that people are going to say when it comes back on the market. Guys, it's completely normal. There's nothing to be worried about, right? And lastly, number 3, no one wants it. Now, this correlates back into number 1 about what I said about pricing, right? And a lot of things that sellers will always say to me, like, nobody wants my property, especially when it expires off the market, guys. Especially when it comes off the market. They always say, nobody came and viewed my house. Nobody put an offer on the property. Nobody wants it, right? Which is completely not true. It all comes down to what I said to the first part. Is that agent setting that expectation, right? Most of the time, guys, it's overpriced. And if it is close to being priced to sell, right? Is that agent even showing you the work that they're doing to bring the buyers into the property, right? Most of the time, it's not even a price, right? It's the agent, how they're working, how they're marketing the property. Are they updating consistently on the feedback, right? You may be going through a scenario where you're having showings and nobody's placing an offer, right? You're kind of stressing yourself, right? But right now, today's topic is when the property is on the market or it comes back on the market and people just don't think they want it. Somebody out there is going to want your property, right? Every property, especially specific ones, right, in specific locations, is going to be what I just said, a specific buyer. So we're going to market to those specific buyers, right? So the last thing I want you to have, whoever's watching this, is to not think that nobody wants it, because there's a buyer for everything out there, right? It's about who go get it, right? It's about the presentation, and it's about price strategy, right? Most of all three of these, besides number two, right, is all comes down to pricing and marketing, guys. I hope you enjoyed this short video, guys. Hopefully whoever's watching this has some type of relief where, you know, you are going back on the market or you're going to list again. These are the common things that buyers are going to think about, and I'm here to tell you this is not the case, right? I'm here to tell you that is not the case whatsoever, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want more valuable content like this. If you're a seller and you want an agent who's going to help you demand the most amount of money, click that Calendly link in the description below, and I'll see you guys next one.